Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Crypto Pulse Weekly. As usual, we'll be starting with a review of what's happening in the markets. And from there, we'll go into some analysis of the price charts and talk a little bit about some knowledge tips, and then we'll take question and answers. Welcome once again, and nice to have you on board. Let's get started in earnest. Again, I'm going for 30 minutes today, if possible, but let's see how it goes. So welcome once again, everyone, and nice to have you around. Today, we'll be looking at what's happening in terms of market update, as usual, the vital signs, crypto drip, and Q&A. So quickly on market updates, we see Bitcoin simply refusing to go back below 40K. If you remember what I said about, that's almost 6 weeks ago now, when I said that it appears that we might have hit the bottom for Bitcoin. At that point in time, it didn't look like it, but increasingly, it's beginning to look more and more like that 32K region was the bottom. We've since been making higher highs, and we're now attempting 45K for the first time in many, many weeks. So once we flip 45K in terms of volatility, definitely we will have more bullish momentum. In terms of sentiment, of course, sentiment is bullish now. We're about to get into hyper bullish mode. And for people on the call today, I think it's a good opportunity for you to load up on your altcoins. If you have altcoins that are really perform poorly, now is the time to dollar cost average into them. Just like the Holy Book says, the Egyptians you see no more. How you see today, you see them no more again forever. The price you are seeing today, you might not see them again. Either for a long time or forever, I can't tell. But what I can tell you is that we've actually gone past the bottom now. So even some of those altcoins are more expensive than what they were 4 weeks ago. But it's very pertinent to say that we are witnessing probably the lowest prices or one of the lowest price levels in 2022. Like I said, I still repeat, I am convinced of an all-time high in Bitcoin this year. So in terms of regulation, we saw that Russia was mooting the idea of accepting Bitcoin for oil and gas, obviously in the face of the cracking sanctions from the West. And I don't blame them. They found themselves in a bind. 2/3 of the money they were banking on for their war chest to prosecute the war in Ukraine has been frozen by the international banks of settlements and the central banks in the US. So as it is, they only have 1/3 of that money left. So they're desperate. So understandably, anything that works. So I'm not surprised that they're willing to start taking Bitcoin for their gas payments. In another development in terms of regulation, Florida is to allow payment in crypto for taxis and municipal services. And the law that India was putting on crypto tax, as I think has come effect this week, essentially putting it on 30% on capital gains on crypto. Again, what this is telling you is that adoption is creeping on, whether we like it or not. You might not believe it. You don't have to agree with it, but that's what's going on. And as you see in the news today, you see that there are major shifts happening in the background. And that's why the price of Bitcoin has refused to go down, even amidst all the tumultuous start to the year and the quarter that we've had. I mean, in this same quarter, we had a war, we've had, interest rates hike implemented. Everything has been thrown against the market, and Bitcoin is still above 40K. So for those who are waiting for Bitcoin at 7K, I wish you well. Anyways, in terms of what's happening on chain, and technically we're still within that ascending triangle macro structure that I described, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago. And with the stable price above 45K, I mean above 40K, it means that 45K is the imminent target, and it's eventually going to break 45K because there's too much buying pressure, and funding rate is also been negative. I've talked about funding rates. I've talked about funding rate here before. Maybe I'll talk about it again later the question and answer, or the crypto drip. So if we flip 45K, which is possible, it's possible this weekend, but I don't think so. I think the market's exhausted after aiming for 45K. I think we'll probably go sideways this weekend. But next week is the no. Actually, auctions expiry was yesterday, this afternoon in the US. Or yeah, it should be around now. This is 7 o'clock. Yeah, so options expiries in the New York Stock Exchange and Chicago Mercantile Exchange will be expiring right about now or within the next 1 hour. What that means is that institutional players who have bet on the price of major assets like Bitcoin, those bets are coming off, or are going to expire at the end of today. That means once we start next week, we're essentially going into the price action for the new month. Personal opinion, I think April is going to be very bullish for Bitcoin, and also for altcoins, not just for Bitcoin. I think April is going to be very bullish based on a number of factors. The first news I wanted to talk about was this news about Thailand's oil and gas company. So Gulf Energy is the IOC of Thailand, just like Petrobras for Brazil and NNPC for Nigeria. Oh no, NNPC is not a good example. What's the name of this? Oh gosh, I can't remember this guy's name now. The guy is in the Middle East. The biggest international or national gas company, oil and gas company. I think it's the one for Qatar or the one for Bahrain. I'm not sure. But these oil companies in other countries, not like Nigeria, in other countries are very serious, privately managed companies, and they operate like mega corporates. So these guys are the independent oil company for Thailand, and they started to create a subsidiary for crypto mining and exploration, if I may use that word. Basically, what they're trying to do is to create a subsidiary that takes some of their associated gases and waste and channels that into crypto mining. If you remember, in I think it was 2020, yeah. It was 2020 when the Saudi oil and gas company were considering setting up a project like that, in which you will have the waste gases and flares being channeled for energy use in Bitcoin mining. But they came out to deny it then, maybe because they felt it wasn't so popular. But other people are taking up the initiative now. And as you see in the next news as well, same thing. ExxonMobil is considering using their gas flares for crypto mining pilots. Now, this was what I don't know why this guy's names keep not ConocoPhillips, Saudi Aramco. That was the name I was trying to remember. This was what Saudi Aramco was denying in 2020. Now you have Exxon, you have Gulf, all trying to pilot it. In my opinion, I think it's the most profitable. Honestly, I think it's the most profitable use of associated gases and waste gases. My MBA specialty was in oil and gas, and honestly, the amount of money being wasted in those associated gases is enough to power half of the energy needs of the world, really. But because for most of them, it's more expensive to transport them and reprocess them, They just prefer to flare it and burn it. So literally just they just burn it. It's been a very crude method. I mean, this method has been in force for over 7 decades now. And it's just of recent that people are trying to say, okay, maybe you shouldn't burn it. Some of them you can pipe into LNG. So you have these LNG companies that popped up in the last 2-3 decades. They're taking some of the gases off the oil companies and using them for other purposes. But I think this would be the purest and the most efficient use of waste energy. Because if you situate a Bitcoin mining rig on an oil platform, for instance, let's say a floating an FPSO, or even a standard rig, what it means is that instead of them to flare that gas, they will just create a small turbine system, attach it to the platform and just consume all the power there and then. That would be the most efficient use of energy, in my opinion. So any energy experts that knows about Bitcoin mining and technology should actually be picked at. You should have their interest picked at this prospect, because it's going to make tons of money for the energy companies outside the normal money they'll get from oil and gas. So I think it's a good development. And I think countries are going to start doing it as well, just like the one El Salvador is trying to do with their Bitcoin bond. I think countries will start to adopt that scenario and try to use that to generate revenue. In another news, if you remember in October, was that October? I think it was October or November, when I said that I was selling all my Shiba Inu, and I gave the reason why I was selling all my Shiba Inu then. I said it has become top 10 from nowhere, and it has nowhere else to go. A lot of people wondered why I was selling at that point. I said, well, I've seen this movie too many times. If you get to top 10, but you don't have a very strong utility, you can't stay there. So if you can't stay there, it means you can't keep going up. And if you can't keep going up, it means you're going down. So for people who took the advice and sold Shiba, then you're better off now, because it lost 55,000 holders in the last 10 days. The hype is gone. When the hype is gone, there's nothing else. So the advice here is don't become a token fans boy or a token fans girl. What I mean is people get attracted by the prospects of a particular token, and on the back of that, they try to hodl the token or hold it. While it's good to hold, in the real sense of it, while it's good to hold tokens, but you need to be careful of tokens you are holding. If you are holding a token that's had a meteoric rise, and a meteoric rise means 1,000x or 10,000x or 100x within the space of 12 months, and it's now sitting at top 10, that rise is not sustainable. It's like gravity. Whatever goes up must come down. So if you went up very steep, best be sure that the coming down is going to be very steep. So for me, and for anybody who's if you're into altcoins, understand that when an altcoin shows up at top 10 from nowhere, and it's not a proof of work altcoin like Ethereum, or a very strong proof of stake like and has institutional backing. If it's just community driven, after a while the community is going to get bored. I mean, in this generation, people get bored very quickly. So they're going to get bored, and once they get bored and the hype is no longer there, automatically the token starts to lose value. What am I saying? It's good to hold tokens for a while, but understand that if a token is a meme token, it does have a shelf life. That's the reality of the matter. And I gave my reasons then. It's the same reason I give for Dogecoin. A Dogecoin can never get to $1. Many people thought it might go to $1, but by the time it gets to $1 cannot buy you anything. So, and the reason is simple. Dogecoin is a specifically inflationary currency. It's a coin. It has its own blockchain. However, it's producing about 10 billion units every day. That's too much inflation for any asset or any instrument. So you can't get to $10 because there's way too many holders that will be willing to sell before it gets to $10. So understand that with meme tokens, you can't hold them forever. Of course, you can buy them at the depth of the bear market. I don't think we're seeing the bear markets really yet. You can buy them at the depth of bear market and sell them bull run. But frankly, it is what it is. Let's move on. Let's move on to other news. I just thought to bring that to your attention. Google just patented non-fungible planets. I don't know what they want to use that for, but it tells me that everybody is secretly and openly positioning for Web3 3.0, as they call it, or the metaverse. Now, I don't want to delve into the technicalities of Web 3.0 metaverse, but it's the whole philosophy of having Web 3.0 is an internet that is not centralized. However, that philosophy currently is not. I think it's still in the conceptual stage, and the reason I say that is because most of the metaverse that we have right now. Oh, sorry for the guys on Instagram, probably not hear me. Sorry about that. Most of the what's it called? The metaverse initiatives that we have now, they are based on centralized servers. And what that means is that if the server gets knocked out, like it's Amazon Web Services, if the Amazon Web Services get knocked out, that's the end of all that metaverse. So while the idea of metaverse and decentralized web is plausible and, it seems like a good idea, in the real sense of it, it can't happen yet because most of the web infrastructure that we have on ground today is predominantly centralized. So whatever we're calling Web3, in the real sense of it, is just a forerunner or a foreshadowing of the real Web3, because the whole of the internet itself right now is based on centralized servers. That's what it is. There might be changes in code and in code structure, but the underlying infrastructure, physical infrastructure, is pretty much centralized. Most of the internet, the bulk of the internet is sitting between Google, Yahoo, Facebook, Amazon servers, really. Maybe a few other private providers on a multinational scale, except for countries that have their own, like Russia, North Korea, and the likes. The rest of the free world is using most of those services. So it becomes a challenge, in my opinion, to execute on that. But nevertheless, the adoption of crypto as a technology is still going on. So I don't know, there will be a lot of hype about Web3 and metaverse tokens, but it's just hype, really. None of them can do anything they're promising right now. This news about Vanuatu. So people don't know Vanuatu. Vanuatu is a Pacific island behind Australia. So it's between Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, and Fiji. It's like a set of 80 islands in that area. I understand it's a lovely destination. Of course, it's Pacific Ocean with blue lagoons and all that. Lovely tourist destination. But a proposal was made to them, I think, was that last year or year before, to have what they call a Satoshi Island project. And what the whole essence of that project is to have one of the small 80 islands that they have, that the only thing they're spending there is Bitcoin or crypto generally. So the prime minister now has approved that they should go ahead and do that. I wouldn't be surprised if they raise their own crypto bonds very soon. They're obviously going to get oversubscribed, but I think it's a good thing. That's probably the second nation state. Of course, this is a very small nation state. It's not. It's probably the size of less than the size of Lagos, really. Another news about Chicago Mercantile Exchange and the Bitcoin premium. Usually when Bitcoin premium goes up on Chicago Mercantile Exchange, it's an indication that the price is about to hit the roof. So I think you should be on the watch out. I just had to bring this up. In addition to all the other things I've been saying about the impending bullish price action, CME premium is up, meaning Bitcoin is about to go up. Secondly, Terra is it's a multi-chain blockchain system. They are the ones that produce Luna. I've given Luna here a number of times. It's a very strong token to watch out for. So Terra has this token called UST, US token. And the idea of US token is such that it uses the crypto as collateral. So for you to mint UST, you need to burn Terra, essentially. And that's why the price of Terra keeps going up. I mean, you need to burn Luna, sorry. So a lot of people have been challenging them that, if you're saying that the UST is based on the price of Terra, what if the price of Terra goes to zero? Then it means that it means essentially that the UST is useless. So what they've done is that they've now used their treasury reserve to buy Bitcoin. So they bought 10 billion Bitcoin. I don't even know how they bought it, but they've probably been buying. They're probably bought the people responsible for buying the dip, and the price has refused to go down. So they bought $10 billion in worth of Bitcoin as the collateral for their UST stablecoin token. So the way stablecoin works, just for general information, the way stablecoin works is that the stablecoins are digital replicas or digital equivalents of some form of assets. So they're either tied to the actual currency like US dollars, or commodities like gold, or assets like loans. So USDT originally claimed that they were tied to the US dollar 100%. Later we found out that it was like 70%, 20% secured loan and all that. They had all sorts of cocktail of stuff that backed up USDT at the time. But UST is a bit different because this is like it's an offshoot of the blockchain, and the algorithm that makes it work ensures that you need Luna to mint any UST you're making. So now that they're adding Bitcoin to the treasury of the Terra ecosystem, two things I expect to happen. It's driving the price of Bitcoin higher, and it's going to make the price of Luna higher. So I can't remember how much Luna is right now, but I think it will be pumping on the back of that news because
94.
Yeah. Paul will be very, very happy. I told him to buy Luna when Luna dropped to 52. So that's why it's not coming down. It's not likely to come down anytime soon, because now that they've had 10 billion to their reserves in Bitcoin, they're probably one of the strongest. And I'm seeing now that their stablecoin has risen to number 14 on CoinMarketCap. That is huge. So Luna is number 8, UST is number 14. See what I'm saying? I think those are serious. Luna is probably going to start doing like 1,000 in a few years' time at this rate. It's already about 18. How much is this? 18 billion, right? 18 billion. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. Sorry. Not 18 billion. Market cap 32. 32 billion. 32 billion. So yeah, could do 10x very easily from current prices. So watch out for Luna. There's what's the name of this coin? There's a coin making a lot of, I'm not really into hype coins these days, but there's an ape coin that was given as a result of the ape NFT. It's been going crazy, but recently it's come down now. It's cooled down a bit. It's dropped like 5% today. But it's been making a lot of noise in the past in the past week. Anyways, that's about. In terms of, okay, people ask me, what do I think about, coins that I could recommend for people to buy? I think that in this season, especially this year, I think Avalanche, Terra, Solana, and Matic, and Kronos being CRO, I think they're going to do very well. All the coins I've mentioned are within the top 20. Atom is also going to do well. Cosmos is also going to do well. I think those are major altcoins. They're probably going to stay strong throughout till the end of the bull run. Others, well, Chainlink has been fairly constant. FTX is another good one. FTX is like CRO of 2019. So FTX is another good one, even though it's more expensive. But that's another good one for people who may be wondering about what tokens to consider at this point. For the guys on the subscription group, I've already given you tokens to buy. I'm sure this one will make some decent money this year, guaranteed. Let's move on to Crypto Vital Signs and talk about Fear and Greed Index. So Fear and Greed Index has gone up. We were at 32 or thereabouts last week. 22, sorry. We were 22 last week. So we've gained a lot of confidence. Cronode. I've to be honest, I've not been following. I've not been following networking because there's so much. I'm just hearing about that one now. Cronode. I'm just hearing about it right now as you're telling me. I don't know what it does. I believe it's probably a new token on the CRO network. I can't comment on it. It's $6 already. Yeah, apparently it's from CRO. Yeah, it's on their network. Yeah, it might be about $6. What's the market cap? 127 million. Or is that fully diluted? Okay. They still don't have a proper market cap because it's on the DeFi chain. Maximum supply is 20 million. Might be a good buy. Might be a good buy. Especially because okay. It touched $40. Okay. Yeah, especially it might be a good buy. I'll research about it. I'll talk about it next week. It might be a good buy. He said if it touches $40, yeah, it might be a good buy right now. Because right now is it's less than wow. It's really dropped in price. So it's probably gone like 90% drop. Interestingly, yeah, RMRK is like and the same thing with what's the name of this one that first came out? The very one that first came out. This is very strange. I hope I'm not getting old. I'm not able to recall stuff on the go. It's very interesting. Okay. Anyway, I'll remember. But there's one that first came out. I mentioned it. Yeah, it was one of the first DeFi projects on CRO. What's the name of this stuff? Anyways, when I remember, I'll tell you. It's dropped like 90% right now.
Is it VVS?
Yes, very, very simple finance. Very, very simple finance. VVS is what I was trying to remember. VVS has dropped 90% from its starting price. I think, yeah, now's a good time to get into them. But of course, be ready to get out of them once serious Bitcoin makes a all-time high. It's not a financial advice, of course, but that's the best time to reap the best benefit, because if you don't get out and Bitcoin starts to fall, then you will be holding the bag for a while. So there's VVS, there's CRN, there's then two other ones I like that. RMRK, yeah, there's RMRK, and there's one other one like that. Finance. It's a finance token, but they're all on CRO's DeFi platform. I'm going to start loading up on CRO from the end of this month, because what it means is that CRO is going to start pumping like Binance token very, very soon, because you cannot transact on any of those protocols without burning CRO. So CRO is gas. So it's important that we take it serious. I'm going to take it serious. And I'm going to take at least the early projects that they have on those platforms. I'm going to take them serious because I mean, crypto.com now has very, very huge coverage. So if they really push out any of those projects, it's going to really blow up. Yeah, I've not been, to be honest, I've not been, doing any sort of research on the CRO chain. But yeah, it's this, the chain is not, in practical use, it's not the strongest yet. I've tried it. I've tried to use it a number of times. It's not as stable, of course, as Ethereum, but it's still in the early stages. And because they already have the clouds, it's easier for their projects to moon. So generally speaking, I think now is the time to get into alts and wait for the next 3 to 6 months when Bitcoin will do its magic, as it always does. So where are we? I think we're here. So we're in disbelief because people believe that the Bitcoin bull run is done. Many people believe we're in bear markets, and as a result, the bear market is going to last till 2024. I'm of the opinion that we're in a sideways market, and we're going to range up again to new all-time high this year. Might come down again to 50K, but we'll probably range up again next year because it's no longer in the hand of the quote-unquote whales, as we traditionally have. It's now sitting in the hands of the big boys, the big boys with the cash, the banks. Like you are aware, Goldman Sachs and many other, big financial institutions already taking very huge positions, directly or indirectly, in the crypto space. And as a result, that heavy capitalization is not going anywhere soon. So it's important to keep that in mind, especially for serious investments like Bitcoin and Ethereum. So moving on, let's get into our technical analysis for the day. So let's start with Bitcoin. A number of things to point out. I think from 2 weeks ago, I'm using this particular chart because my other Bitcoin charts are really messed up. I have all sorts of lines in them. So I had to create another chart from a different broker. Well, yeah, not a different broker, it's Coinbase, but I don't use Coinbase to chart. So 2 things I wanted to point out. This is the daily price of Bitcoin. This is still busy, but let me just make it simple. 2 things I want to point out here. Hide the Bollinger. One is these lines that I drew. I drew these lines back in January. So what I was saying then was that I was expecting Bitcoin to do a head and a shoulder, and then before starting to head up. So what's happened really is, in a way, you can interpret it into market structure patterns. One, you can say it's a head and a shoulder with a higher shoulder on the other side. 2, you can actually say that you have a double bottom, in which case you have one here, and then you have another one here as double bottom. Naturally speaking, double bottom is a global reversal sign. Okay, somebody's typing something, said there's a new blockchain that is faster than all blockchain. The token is TechPayCoin. It has been launched on L-Bank. I don't know about it. There are too many things that's been launched. So I don't, the ones I see, I check up on them. If they make sense, I do a further study. Others, I just leave them. Everybody claims that their blockchain is fast until they start getting real transactions. I don't believe all that crap. That's what Solana told us until they got DDoS attack and they had to shut down their servers. So yeah, I'll check them out, but I'm not convinced. People need to understand that the blockchain technology is the blockchain technology, just like the technology that makes cars drive. That technology has graduated from different standards. First, it was, you know, pure choke and engine. Second, they moved to carburetor. Third, they moved to injector. From injector, they moved to hybrid. From hybrid, we now have plug-in hybrid. From plug-in hybrid, we have electric. Now, no matter what car you buy, whether it's a Lexus, a Mercedes, a Toyota, or Mazda, or even Kia, the standard is the standard. Now, there will be varieties of, you know, flavor, quote unquote, and levels of different durabilities depending on who the manufacturer is. But the standard is the standard. Just like if you want to buy a computer will have a motherboard, will have the memory cards, will have the video cards, will have the BIOS, will have everything that a normal computer will have. The various components will have different levels of durability depending on what the brand is, but the standard is the standard. What am I saying? Blockchain as a technology is the standard. The standard is the standard. If you come now and say my blockchain is faster, on what basis is your blockchain faster? So people have provided different blockchain solutions with the aim of making it faster than Bitcoin and Ethereum. One of them, for instance, was providing a technology called sharding. Sharding means, you know, from the word shard, which is breaking things into smaller size. Sharding means fragmenting the transactions on the blockchain, getting it approved at a lower level, then aggregating the approval and bunching it up at a higher level later. That technology is what something like Zilliqa is trying to, you know, deploy. Unfortunately, nobody is using, I mean, not many people are using Zilliqa, so we can't really put it to test to know how strong that technology is. The proof, I mean, the concept seems nice, but we've not stress tested it, to get my point. We've not stress tested the sharding technology to know that it can actually weather the storm. Same thing with guys building layer 2. So layer 2 works like the Lightning Network, but let me leave the Lightning Network aside. Layer 2 is providing a blockchain on top of another blockchain. That's what it is. But what it's doing is, instead of having the primary transactions happen on layer 1 blockchain, it will happen on layer 2 blockchain. So a very good example, Polygon Matic and Ethereum. Polygon Matic is a layer 2 for Ethereum. What it seeks to do is to relieve Ethereum of congestion and drag by aggregating the transaction into Matic blockchain. When the transaction has been done in Matic blockchain at intervals, the done transactions now have a secondary batching, if you will, and they are now stamped into the Ethereum blockchain. So the reconciliation or validation of the transaction in Matic is going to show up in the Ethereum blockchain and is linked to the Ethereum blockchain. That is what layer 2 seems to do. But as of now, even Matic is not fully, you know, it's not in full flight. It's working, but it's not in full flight. And I mean that they are serious-minded people. They're not, they have strong developers, they're doing a good job, but it's really not in full flight. And the reason I'm saying this is because for most tokens in crypto, it is the promise of an idea or a solution. So it's a case of buying the news and selling the rumor. So people end up buying the hype. Oh, this thing is going to, you know, do so and so. And then when the actual solution comes out, everybody sells up and moves on. So I'll check out TBC or TPC. Let me see what it is. It might not be TechP. Yeah, it's not on CoinMarketCap. It's probably one of those DeFi related off the grid tokens. Don't put what you can't afford to lose. That's
not big. Just like this, our what do you call it now? The moments is just like
I see.
Is that this one? This one we bought in Dubai. What's his name? It's just like one of those stuff.
I see.
Like this Sapphire.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Oh, okay. So those are off the grid markets.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that they're not going to moon. It just means that they have their own sub ecosystem. Of course, they can They can promise that. I think what got to me was the fact that they were promising to be the fastest blockchain. That's bullshit. Sorry for my language. But anytime any token says that, I'm like, come on, guys, don't take everybody for a fool. Anyways, let's move on to technical analysis that we're going on. So as I was saying, we formed the technical bottom here. As you can see, the two bottom C's being drawn. And as I pointed out last week and week before, we are making an ascending trend. So we have a trend that is formed and is going up. What this means is that trend is up because you are forming what you call a higher high. I mean, higher low, sorry. So this is one low, this is another low, this is another low, this is another low. Another low has formed here now at 41K-ish. So now we have this line that is forming. So what is forming the ascending triangle is this trend line and this horizontal line. An ascending triangle is essentially a bullish structure from market structure basics, because it means that at some point the price is going to break out. There are two ways I foresee this happening right now. One is that price breaks out here next week or this weekend, touches the 200 moving average and bounces back downwards. Or like I drew some other time a while back, is that the price might just do what it's doing right now, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. If you remember that stuff that I drew on the other chart, that it can keep doing that till it gets to the end of this triangle, then bust out. If it keeps doing that for the next 5 days, it's still, I mean, there's still enough room actually for it to come down to, it can't come down to 39. It will probably come down to retest this other trend line I just drew today, coming from 52K. So if it comes down to retest the trend line at 42K, which is very likely, and bounces off, for most traders, this is a bullish entry signal, meaning it breaks the trend line, then comes back to retest it as support. Everybody is going to ape in and start buying at that point in time. What that means is very quickly the price will go to 50K. Will the price stay at 50K? I'm not sure. But one thing I'm sure of is that it's only this week or this weekend that is between the coming price action. Definitely the price is going to pump. To which level, I'm not sure. As I said, possibility of going up, hitting 48K or 49K and coming down to retest is very high. In which case, if that happens, then you can expect that the price is going to take off from here. Because what it means is that if you have a retest like this, that's a classic entry signal on a large time scale like the daily charts. Everybody's going to be buying, both institutions and retail traders, because what this means is that the price has broken out of this range and is ready to go for higher things. If it happens like that, of course, all-time high season has come. So that's what Bitcoin looks like right now, even though on the intraday, it looks like there's a lot of exhaustion. So we've been pumping for the last 4 days, including today. So if you drill down a bit, where is that stuff? It seems to have touched 45K and we're making some sort of a pullback. But what I was saying here, so it's even better here. What I was saying was that if from this pullback now, well, let me use what to do here. If from this pullback, yeah, it's from this pullback, we have something like this, and it bounces off. Then it breaks out here and bounces off again, automatically confirmed. If the price prints out like this on the 4-hour over the next few days, confirmed, we are completely bullish. Like there is no other confirmation that you can get that if the price breaks out just the way I've drawn it, automatically everybody's going to start buying Bitcoin. And against the backdrop that we actually have very, very few Bitcoin on the exchanges. So liquidity is quite thin. The price is going to be running like crazy. So in other words, this is the time the time to buy was actually here, in fairness, here at 34K. That was the time to buy, or at 32K, when everybody was afraid that it was going to 20K or 16K. And some people said it was going to 7K. Anyways, so that's what the price of Bitcoin looks like. On the weekly as well, we're making an upward journey essentially. So yeah, I remember drawing this a long while ago. Okay, then I thought the bottom was going to be somewhere around here, but apparently the bottom decided to come here. And I think my projection then was that yes, we are going for 80K. I think we're still going for 80K. I think we're probably going to go to like 90 or 85K, just based on, yeah, definitely we're going for 90, or I don't want to say 100, because if I say 100, everybody knows that 100 is the whole number. So chances are most sellers will sell out before you get to 100, and the price will dump before it gets to 100. But definitely Bitcoin is going to attempt 3 digits within the next 24 to 48 months. Again, on the weekly charts, normal reversal signs, you have these long candles. First, there was a hammer, then you have this inverted shooting stars or inverted hammer posting at the bottom of a trend, automatically signaling that the trend has reversed. And as you can see, the price is picking up on this level. Same thing with Ethereum. Ethereum is correcting now, and I think that based on the current price, if Bitcoin continues to go up, Ethereum is probably going to pick up again. But if it doesn't, then we might see a correction back to like 3,000. It's 3,001 now. So we might see like 3,000 or 2,950 before attempting the higher 3,005. On the daily for Ethereum, it's not really been impressive, to be honest. It's just been dangling here. It's attempting to create a similar pattern like Bitcoin, though. Ethereum has not been impressive in terms of price movement. I think for me, the most impressive have been Luna and Cosmos. Not even Cosmos. Cosmos was not. Luna, yeah, Luna was good. But in terms of, yeah, this chart is actually very, very important. This is the chart of the overall market capitalization of crypto. We've attempted 2 trillion in the last 24 hours. So the price touched on 2 trillion in the last 24 hours. The significance of that is that we've not been in that range since beginning of February and beginning of the year. So when the year started and the price started to go down, I mentioned then that we should take a note of where the price was at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, it was around this price, and it was around 2 trillion, and the market was crashing. And I said anything below the opening of the market was an opportunity to buy. It is still an opportunity to buy, because think about it. If anybody bought anywhere between the 24th of January and 13th of March, 24% gain already. If I plot the same thing, I mean, just for reference, if I put the same thing on Bitcoin, be about the same thing, 25%, in fact, 30% gain. So it's important to understand that the price is about to take off, literally. How fast it will happen, I'm not sure, but I'm sure April, May, June should see a very, very rapid rise in the price of crypto generally. So that's in terms of technical analysis. 2 things I want to talk about. So we have this Manchester Crypto Summit planned for April 18th. I've not really publicized it because I'm in 2 minds, to be honest. I'm not sure whether I want to do it during Easter Monday or May Day, which is the May bank holiday here in the UK. I'm yet to make up my mind. I need to make up my mind definitely this coming week. But tentatively, if you're in Manchester, 18th of April, we should be in Manchester for Crypto Summit. And it promises to be an interesting time. There will be online tickets, of course, for people who want to attend the online version. And yeah, I was going to talk about funding rates. Yes, I remember now. So funding rates is, I've talked about it before, but it's something that affects the price of Bitcoin because it is the rate at which people who are trading Bitcoin on leverage are getting funded on the exchanges. So simple interpretation, let me show you the simple, you can check it on CoinGlass. Simple interpretation is this. Let's say, where is Bitcoin? Okay. So if I say futures markets, they've made this thing more complicated. It used to be very simple. Okay, funding rates. I hope it comes out. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. So anytime I come here and I see all this green as red, I know there's trouble because it means that price is going to fall. Why? Because it means funding rate is positive, extremely positive. If funding rate is extremely positive, like you have here, like this red, then it means the price is going to crash. If it's green like this, it means the price cannot crash because what it means is that there are very few people who are trading Bitcoin on leverage. And the people who are trading Bitcoin on leverage are the people that cause the price to move very sharply. So why is funding rate important? It tells you whether the market is too heavy, it's too top heavy or bottom heavy. So right now it's bottom heavy because there are no marginal traders. There are not plenty marginal traders in the market. And that's why we are not able to come down. So if we went back to that chart, you see that for the past, let's say 12-hour charts, you see that the price has not really, we've just been going up. It's not really come down since end of February. It's not really come down. So if it goes up, you think that you come down and, it's not really come down. It's been going up and up and up. It bottomed out here at 38 and it's been going up since then because the funding rate has been persistently negative. What it means is that the traders are tired. The traders are tired of losing money. So they've stopped trading on leverage. And as a result, the market has cooled off organically. And what it now means is genuine demand is coming to market and is making the price to rise. Anytime you see funding rate rise, it means that the market, no matter how high the price is going to crash. Yeah, that was, I just thought it was important to mention that because some people ask me, when do you know when to sell, and when to buy? That's one, in addition to fear and greed index, that's a very cheap entry and exit signal. So that's all for today. If you have any question, let's have it before we call it a day. Oh my God, we spent 54 minutes already. Thought we were going to be faster today. Anyways. So if you have any question on Instagram, just type your question and I will answer your question. If you have a question on the link to that site, okay, I'll send you the link now. If you have question on on the call, you can unmute your mic and go ahead. If there are no questions, I'm happy to let you enjoy the rest of your weekend. For the guys on the West and East Coast, you still have the rest of your day to go. For us here in GMT, it's Friday, it's TGIF. So have a nice evening, everyone. There are no questions, and have a lovely weekend. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Larry.
Thank you, sir.
Babani.
Thanks, Davey.
Hey, Shandy.